your boy Johnny. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing the Emotn Projector. Now, this projector is available on Amazon. I will be putting the links in the description so you can check it out. And before we start this review, I want to mention that this product was indeed provided by the company Emotn for the Emotn H1 projector. They did indeed send me this product for review, so I'm going to go ahead and do my review on the projector. Now, I do want to mention that I am not being paid by them, so this will be 100% my personal opinion on the projector. I will try to be as neutral as possible and give you my opinions on the projector. So we're going to go ahead and unbox the Emotn or Emotn projector from this company. It's a portable projector, and we're going to go ahead and see what's inside the contents of it and see if it's actually pretty cool to use. So the box, I am pretty impressed on the projector. It looks really slick. I like it. It looks really sleek. As you guys can see, it's a 1080p projector, and as well it has its speaker, its portable screen mirroring, 5G, Wi-Fi, and its own personal Android OS, which is a Emotn OS, but it's their version of their OS. I personally haven't used it ever before, but we're gonna see that after we unbox it. Let's go ahead and see what's inside. As you guys can see, wow, it's actually smaller than it looks in the pictures. It really doesn't look too big. All right, so one of the things that I want to mention right off the bat is that it brings a controller. It's probably not the best controller. As you guys can see, it looks kind of simple. And it doesn't include the battery, so I'll go ahead and put some batteries in there. And at least it brings its HDMI cord, which a lot of them don't bring HDMI cord, so I think this was a pretty awesome inclusion to bring in a HDMI cord. And this is very strange. I personally haven't seen any of these devices with the yellow, red, and white AV cables, but that is really cool that it brings it. I haven't seen this in a while, and to see it brought in this projector so you can play your GameCube games or any other classic titles is really cool. I think that is really awesome that they actually brought that in here. And as you guys can see, it also brings a power switch or a power adapter that you can actually have it connected at all times, so you don't lose battery when you're not using it as a portable projector. So that's really awesome of them to include that. And it brings in the instruction manuals. Now, I was told that when you have it plugged in, you're gonna get a better image quality, which I understand in order to have a more time on the projector, so you can have the battery last longer instead of just a regular 4 hours. And it tells you the user manual and everything. You can put it in a tripod, and that is pretty awesome. So let's get right down into the nitty-gritty, but into the projector. It also brings like I think that's a lens plastic. Okay, so yeah, it's a lens plastic. I recommend you take it off when you are going to use it. And wow, look at it. It's really small, but it's really sleek. I expected it to be more of a worse design, but no. Now, I've seen smaller projectors, but I really like the design. It has a leather grip to it as well, so you can grab it by the strap. And it has buttons for your Bluetooth, I believe. Yeah, it does accept Bluetooth. You can skip, or you can skip certain stuff. And as well as you can turn up the volume through here. I think that's the volume knob. And these are the lens where you can focus them differently, I would assume. Yeah, it's the focus. As you guys can see, not a bad design. Feels kind of plasticky, but feels really premium in quality. So I am very impressed. Now, one of the cool things I saw that it has an Ethernet port, so you can connect it via wired cord if you're trying to get the fastest connection. And it does have USB-C DCN, And as you guys can see, it has HDMI, USB. You can even put a SIM card in here, a micro SD card. Not a SIM card, but a micro SD card. I mean, I don't know why it says SIM card, but a micro SD card can be put here. You can output it through speakers, AV, and headphones, whatever you like. So I'm pretty impressed with the stuff that it brings overall. It does look nice in design. The quality just looks really amazing in it. I am very surprised on how it looks. The box is definitely nice as well. So I think this is pretty dope. A lot of really cool stuff in this projector. And the next part of the video, we're going to go ahead and test it out. Before we start the video, I wanted to show you what my room setup is like. And I have the projector placed onto a white table that is pointing at the wall. And surprisingly enough, the height of the table is good enough for the projector to project onto the wall. Booting up the projector was pretty easy and the setup was pretty flawless. It didn't really ask me a lot of stuff other than if I wanted to connect my Wi-Fi and what language I was going to use. So it was pretty fast in order to get right into the projector. The next thing I did was move the projector a bit back to the room with the white table because my wall projection is over 150 inches. So I had to go ahead and move it back because I wanted to see if this projector was capable of actually projecting the whole wall on my theater room. And surprisingly enough, it does indeed project to the whole wall, but I have to say that there is a diminish in the quality. So later on in the video, I decided to actually move it back a little bit forward so I could actually see the full quality of the projector. Now this is quite understandable in these type of projectors because sometimes, you know, it's better when you have a smaller screen size of the projection on the wall because it will give you more quality. And this applies for a lot of projectors out there in the market. When booting up the OS, I noticed that there's really no ads on the OS. I actually like that because a lot of the new OS systems on different projectors or Android systems have a lot of ads, but surprisingly this one does not have many ads except your apps that you're going to be using. And I went ahead and looked at the Keystone options that it had, and it's nothing really too fancy. Like I said, Keystone is only required when you really need it, but in reality, if you have your projector set up pretty flat, you really don't need to use Keystone, and Keystone sometimes can diminish your quality on your projection onto the wall. Now, I also went into the settings, and there's really not that many options. There is a setting where you can actually change the colors or different modes to put it into sport modes, but personally I think that you should just leave it in the default setting because it is probably the best image quality you're going to get out of the projector if you just leave it in the default setting. So I don't recommend really tinkering with the settings to try to improve the image. I think the original setting is just fine for the projector. The projector does have Bluetooth settings, as it was mentioned in the beginning of the video. I would definitely recommend that you connect another third-party remote to the Bluetooth because the controller that it brings isn't really too good, as it is a IR remote and sometimes it's kind of hard to actually point it at the projector and go through the settings with the controller. So if you have a Bluetooth third-party controller, I would definitely recommend that you use it with this projector. One of the things that did impress me about the projector's OS is that it has its own app store, the Emotn app store, which allows you to go ahead and download apps that you want to use, such as Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, right off the bat, just by connecting your Wi-Fi. So you don't have to worry about registering a Google account in order to download apps. I really did like that about this projector. However, you still get the option to use the Google Play Store if you feel more comfortable with logging into Google and putting in your own account in the projector so you can go ahead and download apps. But it's really convenient to just use their app. You don't have to register anything, and right off the bat you can start downloading apps onto the projector that you can go ahead and use on your projector. I then went ahead and played a video that was 1080p and projected it onto the wall. And as I have to say that when you're projecting a big image onto a wall, the quality is going to diminish, and it does indeed diminish a lot in this projector. This is actually quite common with projectors. When you decide to project a big image onto the wall further back, the quality will diminish. And considering this is a portable projector, it was pretty understandable that the quality would diminish. I mean, my screen is over 150 inches. You can have a high-end or a low-end projector. It will always diminish. Now, I did go ahead and do a better test of the image by putting the projector closer to the wall so I could actually get a smaller image onto the wall. Still pretty big image that's being projected to the wall, but it would allow me to see the quality difference in the image if I projected it closer to the wall. I then went ahead and played a Spider-Man movie to test out more of the image quality when it comes to movies with the projector. And I played a Spider-Man movie, and I have to say, once I made that screen smaller on the wall, I have to say that it does indeed improve the quality and the details in the characters in the movie. And it's definitely well worth it that you keep it on a smaller size when you're going to project onto the wall or to your projector screen, because it does improve the quality. And I was surprised with the colors, are pretty vibrant. I'm not going to say they're the best image quality out there, but it's very watchable. I definitely could watch a movie and just chillax back in my movie theater room and watch a movie with this projector. I then went ahead and tested out the projector speakers, and I have to say the sound quality isn't really too bad on these speakers. It goes to a really high level and volume if you wanted to, and it actually sounds pretty good for the most part. Now I'm going to show you guys a clip on the sound of the speakers. I then went ahead and tested out the fan noise in the projector, because a lot of people, while they're watching the movie, they like to know if the projector has a big fan noise. It does indeed have a big fan noise, but to be honest, when you're playing a video or a movie or you're listening to something, you're really not going to really notice it because the volume will overpower it for most of the time. But if you're really just keeping it on the low, you will probably be hearing the fan noise a lot. So it all really depends. If you have your volume up, you won't really notice it. But I mean, it does have a fan noise. Every projector has a fan noise, so it's quite understandable. The final thing that I wanted to test out with the projector was gaming. Now, one thing that I want to mention before I start gaming on the projector is that projectors will always have a latency when it comes to gaming. There's no way around it. It's just something that every projector has, that there will always be a type of latency. So I expect some latency from this projector. So I went ahead and connected my Nintendo Switch onto the projector and went ahead and booted up Mario Kart. And surprisingly, Mario Kart looks really good on the projector. The image colors are very vibrant. Even though the game is vibrant, this is why I like to test out Mario Kart, because it's always a vibrant game. And it does indeed run at 60 FPS frames per second at 1080p image quality on the projector. And I have to say, it runs pretty good, even if it's just for gaming. I did notice a bit of a latency, but that is common. Like I mentioned before, it is common with every projector. So I would recommend that you play games that are probably less latency, or stuff where you have to less movement, such as not FPS games, but maybe like a platformer or Mario Party. It works perfectly fine for those type of games, and this is pretty much for most of the projectors out there. There will always be a latency, so it was quite expected with this projector as well. Coming to the conclusion of this video, I want to give my final thoughts on what I think about this projector. But before I give my final opinion on the projector, I want to mention one thing, is that this is a budget projector. Don't expect it to be a high quality projector that costs around $3,000 or $4,000 for a dedicated movie theater room. This is for the casual user who wants to be on a budget and get something affordable that is portable. So don't go out of your way thinking this is the highest quality projector that there is going to be. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the pros and cons about this projector. One of the pros that I have to mention, that it does have a great OS app store. This really did impress me in the review. The OS app store is amazing in this projector. You don't even have to register an account to download apps, so I give them a props for that. The second pro that I like about it, that the budget is affordable. It usually costs around $289, $300, but right now there's a coupon on Amazon where it takes out like $90 off the price, so it comes around $213 in total. So that's a really good price, and that's really affordable. Just like I mentioned before, this is an affordable projector. There's several different out there that are cheaper, but this is an affordable one as well, and it's also portable. The other thing I like about it, that it's lightweight. It's basically a lightweight projector. You can take it anywhere. It has good ergonomics and design. I definitely like the leather strap that it brought, where I can carry it around. I really do like that about this projector, and I have to mention that was one of the coolest things about it. And that's what you want in a portable device or a portable projector. The other thing, that it does indeed have a long battery life. I went ahead and tested it out, left it on, and if for 4 hours, it did last about 4 hours when I was watching a movie on there. So I have to say the battery life is pretty good on it as well. The other thing that I did like about it, that really did impress me, that is definitely one of the highlights, is the speakers. It has really good speakers. I won't say that it is the best quality speakers, but it has good speakers to do the job when it comes to watching movies or stuff. Now we're going to go over the cons of what I thought about the projector. One of the cons that I didn't like about the projector was the bat remote IR. I don't know, there's just something about this remote that doesn't really respond to my commands on it for most of the time. Now, I'm not going to completely blame it on the projector. You can just use a Bluetooth remote or a third-party remote that has Bluetooth. This will fix the situation, but for me, the remote was kind of laggy. It wouldn't respond to my commands for most of the time, and it was kind of a pain to navigate through it. But if you connect a Bluetooth third-party controller, you should be fine, and it will work fast because Bluetooth is better, obviously. So yeah, that's one of the cons. The second con is that the fan is kind of loud. Now, like I did mention in the review earlier in the video, that if you play high volume on content, you won't really notice it, or if the projector is far away from you, you won't really notice the fan a lot. But if you're watching in low audio with low volume, you will notice it a little bit more. So the fan is kind of louder than I'm used to, but that is understandable. It is a portable projector, so I can live with it. The third con is that bigger projection image onto my wall will give me lower quality. Now, this is really understandable, and I mean, it's pretty much with every projector that you get, that if you project an image that's over 150 inches, even on the high quality ones, eventually the quality will kind of diminish a bit. But I mean, it's understandable. But if you put it closer to your screen, you should be able to get a decent image of quality. So yeah, those are the cons for what I think about the projector. Coming to my final thoughts about the projector, whether I recommend it or do I not recommend it, I have to say that I do recommend the projector because of the budget and its portability. You can take this projector anywhere and have fun with your friends. If you're going out camping and you take a projector screen, you can just pull it out and use the projector without having to connect it to a wall or anything and watch a movie when you're camping. Or if you're going to a friend's house and you just want to play video games on the projector, it's really small that you can take it and you can go ahead and play video games with your friends as well. Or if you had to do a small presentation, I can definitely see the use of this projector. And yeah, I overall recommend it. I will be leaving the link in the description where you can actually purchase it if you want to get this projector. And it's pretty cheap right now. There's a coupon that applies to a $90 discount, so that is something that you should definitely take an advantage of if you're looking for a portable projector in the market. Anyways guys, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button for more videos.